that can clean Monday, somebody that can clean Monday through Friday from 5 to 8, and you don't mind taking out trash, and you can do this, that, and the other. And it's like, that's not an interview. You're telling me what the job responsibilities are, but you're not asking me why I'm a good fit.
Mm.
So you got to kind of, they need to ask meaningful questions and find why that person applied in the first place. And then if you feel good about it at the end of 15 minutes, then you can move to the next stage and say, okay, well, I need to get together with you face to face to do pre-employment paperwork. It takes about 45 minutes. And then once I have you on board, then I can schedule you for training in the field. Again, put it back in their court. How soon would you be available to do the paperwork? I'd like to meet with you in the next 5 working days. Have them schedule it. If you have an office, have them come to your office. If not, pick a good coffee house or something where you guys can meet publicly and it's convenient. Set a day and a time, and you go there and you bring your work with you. If I'm going to go to a coffee house and sit for 45 minutes, I'm either going to be talking with this person and coaching them through their paperwork so that I get everything filled out the right way, or I'm going to have a stack of paperwork that I need to do. Maybe I'm filling out an inspection report or something like that. But either way, I'm going to get work done.
Mm.
So if they show up, fantastic. If they don't show up, it didn't slow down my day. I'm
Right.
focused on getting something accomplished. But once they come in, that's when I have an opportunity to get them through all their paperwork. I give them a copy of written cleaning procedures for several different tasks, for how to clean a bathroom, office area, sweep, mop floor, you name it. And then I get them scheduled. And, again, I'm reconfirming with them at that time that the position that they applied for is still the best fit for them. And if they say, well, I can do Monday through Thursday, that Friday I'm not going to be able to do because of whatever, then it's up to me on whether or not I want to accept that, or maybe I've got something different that's open that would be a better fit. Something that maybe only has Tuesday and Thursday cleanings, but it's a little bit more hours on 2 days, and I can offer that to them. Pay them a great wage, get them out in the field, and then train them properly. I've seen a lot of, especially, locally, you see companies, they run in with an employee, they walk them around, they kind of chit chat with them for 20 minutes, hand them a set of keys, and they're like, all right, well, you know how to clean, right? And they leave.
Yeah.
And then they wonder why the client's complaining about things being missed and stuff like that. They got to take an honest approach to nurturing the employee, making them feel good that they made the right decision to come on board with you. So.
Gotcha. Cool. I think the biggest thing I've heard is something that you've brought up is you kind of let them make that initial, you put the power back in their hands to see how they would react regarding to, are they going to call you at that 3 p.m. time that you told them to call you back, and kind of see who they are as a person. And a big thing is no matter what time you have scheduled with them, you always have something else to do. So if they don't show up or they don't call you, you're not even like worried about it. You're just moving forward, which I see a lot of business owners don't do because they're like, cool, I have an appointment at 4 p.m. With George. I'll just sit here and wait for George. And George doesn't show up for 30 minutes. They get into like a bad mood because then somebody didn't show up, and then it throws them off the whole day. But where you're saying it's like, cool, 4 o'clock meeting with George, what you can also bring is maybe a backup work that you can do. And if George doesn't show up, you're still on the road, like just doing your thing on, in the flow of work throughout the day. That's awesome. I've never heard that before. I think that's great. Now, if you were to put like something, I was talking to this client earlier about like what she's offering to her local people regarding to getting applicants and getting them to show up. Something in the marketing world that we do is we understand the offer that you provide is extremely important. Like, what are you going to get people to, like, what are you going to say, do, or write that's going to attract their attention, and on top of that, make them take action towards it? So in the employee standpoint, do you feel like having a really good offer, it's going to be able to be beneficial for that business when it comes to acquiring employees? Because they're on Indeed, they're on Craigslist, they put stuff on Facebook. Like I told you, they had 8 applicants that decided not to show up because they chose a different route. Was it because of the offer, or have you had experience with this before?
I think it absolutely could be about the offer. So, you know, clearly it's difficult to compete with a bunch of Indeed ads that are offering a great wage plus a sign-on bonus,
Yeah,
because everybody's going to see what that sign-on bonus is, and they're going to keep adjusting until they're at the top of the stack.
yeah,
Um, but the nice thing is, if you start out only competing with wage in your advertisement, so like this lady, for example, she had 8 people. She must have talked to them at some point and scheduled a time for them to come in for the actual interview.
mm-hmm.
So in the Indeed ad, list what you're after, um, and put a great wage to it. When you talk to them on the phone, that's the opportunity for you to say, oh, by the way, I left this out of my ad in Indeed, but we're also paying a sign-on bonus for employees that come on board and stay with us, minimum of 90 days. And here's how our sign-on bonus works. At 30 days, you get $50. At 60 days, we're going to give you an additional 100. And then at 90 days, I'm going to give you a $150 bonus. So it's a $300 sign-on bonus that we're breaking up over the first 90 days. And it's tied to sticking with us and having good attendance, and showing us that you're willing to learn and do the job. And I promise you, when you come on board, you're going to find that as a company, we love our employees and we really take care of them.
Mm.
Now she's got an opportunity to kind of differentiate herself, because she's dangled a really decent carrot out there in front of the applicant that says, hey, come on board. And if you even just stick with me for 30 days, I'm going to give you an extra $50 just for doing nothing. Just come and work for 30 days.
Yeah.
But you got to show up to the interview, and you got to take the job, So that might be one strategy. I've seen people offer gift cards just to show up to the interview. I am strongly against that. You could buy thousands of dollars worth of gift cards, have people show up to the interviews left and right, and they still never join your company.
Yeah.
you know
Mm-hmm.
so at least with the other way around, yes, you're paying out some sign-on bonuses, but you're at least getting somebody to come on board and you get some work out of them.
No, that makes sense for sure. And the gift card thing sounds good in the front end until you realize that people start taking advantage of it and they show up just for the gift card. So the back end of like, hey, do X and then you'll be able to get X is definitely something good. I think they do have a sign-on bonus. I think they're doing like 30 days, you get $100, for staying them for 30 days, which is great. But they're competing hourly less than McDonald's. So like, I feel like that's a huge thing as well. I'm not sure what she mentioned. I think McDonald's paying like $16 an hour or something, or 18, and they're doing a bit less than that. So that could also be, a reason why many people might not be going with them as well. I don't know if.
Oh, I guarantee it. She's got to figure out a way to get up higher in her wages.
Gotcha. Cool. Yeah. Cause I think, there's definitely so many different variables of why people aren't becoming, employees. They do hire a couple, but it's just not at the volume. I mean, you're missing 20 employees. That's a lot to not only hire, but to train. And it's just not quick enough to the job that she's getting. So it's definitely putting her in a tough situation. In your experience in the last 30 years, is there anything regarding what you've seen work really well when it comes to hiring? I know like COVID wasn't, I don't know if there's anything, like COVID, when you're in the field working and stuff like that, but it has affected a lot of people. So I don't know if there's anything regarding hiring that you felt like worked really well for you.
Yeah. So initially, we were in the same situation. We're trying to hire for low wages,
Yeah.
trying to fill a lot of positions, minimum wage at the time maybe was 7.25, and we're trying to hire people in at 8.50 an hour. Well, the market moves so fast that sometimes it works for a couple of months, and then all of a sudden you just have like this black hole of no employees for 6-7 months.
Mhm.
And if you stay in the same strategy, the again, the biggest deficit is in the quality of work that's being produced. So you start losing clients, or you stop gaining new clients because your references are not quite as strong.
Yeah.
So at the time, I was going through my business college program, and I was tasked with doing a research paper on different companies. So I came across this research on the Rubbermaid company. Or I'm sorry, not the Rubbermaid company. It was called the Container Store.
Oh, I have
Okay.
it right here. I always question driving by, like, why is it like even a thing?
So the Container Store, what this CEO did is he looked at his business model and he said, okay, so right now I need, say, 20 employees at $10 an hour to run my operation. But what happens if I cut that down to 8 employees and I pay them all, instead of paying them $10 an hour, I start paying those 8 employees $20 an hour.
Mm.
Well, what he found were the 8 employees were willing and capable of taking on a much higher volume of work and responsibility because they were paid and felt like they were being like they were being compensated appropriately for the amount of task and work that they were being done.
Yeah.
Now, the CEO, once he implemented this in a couple of stores and trying to run this out as a business model, what he found is he became more profitable. Because think about it. So if you had 20 employees at $10 an hour, then you're spending $200 an hour to get the work done, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you cut that down to 8 employees at 20, now you're spending 160. So he saved $40 an hour, and the employees that did stay on were being paid so much higher. So now we can translate that into the cleaning industry as well.
Yeah.
So I can hire a frontline employee that has zero skill set and I need to train and pay them $10 an hour, or I can look for the most qualified people in the market and advertise that I'm paying $18 an hour or $20 an hour, whatever the case is. But the production rate that the qualified person has is it's well more than 50% of that frontline person that I have to train and bring up to speed over time.
Yeah.
So now it gives me a distinct advantage to start basically nabbing the top quality talent from the market, even if they're working and they're somewhat satisfied. It's one of those industries, people look around. They're always looking for something a little bit better. And if the next guy over here is paying them $15 an hour to clean 20 hours a week, and I'm offering $18 an hour to clean 20 hours a week. Well, what would you do? Would you go for $3 more an hour? Sure.
Yeah.
So then when I go through that interview process of putting it back in, it helps me to filter out the people that think they deserve $18 an hour and the people that are worthy of $18 an hour.
Right.
A big difference. And then in the long run, my company is going to succeed. I may pay out more, sure, but again, that profit doesn't mean a whole lot if you're drowned in customer complaints and open schedules and sleepless nights because the stress, or you have to go out and clean yourself just to get the job done.
Yeah.
So
No, that's awesome. I think that's a great thing. I'm recording this so I can share it with all of our clients that might be, dealing with this as well. There's like what I've found from you, Michael, and what you've described. There's like many different strategies and little things you can tweak within your business to be able to be more profitable or, have a long lasting business. Because the janitorial thing is like, you'll have contracts for a couple years. Like, you need people to clean that, for a couple of years. And the last thing you want to do is recycle people and then retrain them, etc. So why not pay them a little bit more, where you, instead of profit 25%, you profit 20%. That's 5%, but that's like headaches that you don't have to deal with of recycling employees, etc., by just paying them a little bit more. So maybe to this client right here, what I could bring to her is telling her, hey, pay a lot more per hour, but focus on finding A players, people that are worthy of that amount of money that you're going to spend. And if you want more people to come in, like, put it on Indeed that you're willing to spend even more per hour, ultimately to attract them in. And then once they come in, then you can kind of pick and play who you would like. But maybe because she's putting it so low, all the A players just overlook it, if that makes sense. And then she kind of doesn't, she's left with all.
Oh yeah.
I think
Oh
that's
yeah.
that might be the biggest thing. Like, I'd rather put the hour as high and then kind of get them in, and then from there explain to them what the actual thing is, if they're worthy of that thing that I posted about. And the same thing in marketing. It's there's a great marketer within the space where he had a great story about how this kid had to go give medicine to the dog because the dog was sick, and the grandma, just the medicine was like some type of garlic thing, so the dog wasn't having it. So the grandma's like, hey, go give the dog this. He tried to give the dog the garlic, and the dog didn't eat it. And he goes back, like, well, grandma, like, why didn't the dog eat it? He's like, well, take this, the garlic, and wrap it with bacon, and then try to give it to him. And he ate it. So, like, how the marketing world, or just offer regarding to hiring employees, that you got to wrap the bacon around what you're offering. And then from there, bring these A players in. And if they're worthy of paying them $20 an hour, pay them that. Because cool, you'll take less at home regarding in your pocket, but this person's dealing with turning 2 to 3 jobs away a day. Like, that's business that she can get and in the long run be profitable, and then, grow her business even more. So I think that's something that I should bring up to her, is that she's not putting that bacon around what she's offering per hour, causing all these A players to just overlook and just go elsewhere. Right. So that's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The other thing that I noticed too, a lot of people do, is they're not very specific in their ad. So when they're running their advertisements on Indeed, they're like, hiring for general cleaner in the Wellington area, 40 hours a week.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I mean, that's kind of generic. And then if you're not putting a great wage with it, I'm definitely going to overlook that. Try to be as specific as possible, especially when you need to fill multiple positions. Don't just run one Indeed ad looking for general cleaners and expect to fill, 20 positions. I guarantee you there's something different about all those 20 positions that could probably create 5 or 6 different ads. It's going to be location. It's going to be days of service. It's going to be start and finish times. It's going to be pay rate. It's going to be cleaning environment. But there is something about that job that is different that needs to be explained in the ad. If you're hiring for a manufacturing facility that's cleaned Monday through Friday from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m. specifically in a particular location, put that information in along with the wage. But if you just put that you're hiring for general general cleaners in the Lorain County area, well, Lorain County's got Elyria, Amherst, Oberlin, Wellington. There's all these different little towns, and you're not specific enough. And plus, people's mentality and their confidence level will also hold them back from responding to ads. And this is something that I just picked up through some psychology. So if you run an ad and you say that you're looking for one person, somebody that has low self-esteem will probably not apply to the ad, even though they know they're qualified for it, because they don't feel that they could be that one person. But if you advertise that you have multiple openings, even though you're hiring for one spot, that changes the mentality of the person looking at the ad. And now they're like, well, it might not be the one person, but I could be one of many people that
Mm,
they find qualified.
yeah.
And that's what we're really looking for. We're looking for those people that are truly qualified. They just don't have the self-esteem really to
Yeah.
stand up and say, I'm the one.
Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, they're your best employee and they're the ones that stick with you the longest.
Right. That's awesome. I think that's a great psychology thing, because if you really look at it, a lot of people become cleaners because they just need time to themselves. They just like to put on some headphones and, clean and get away from the world. So I feel like it's one of those things where those are people that are quite shy to take initiative on like, hey, I'm the one, right? If they were like, hey, I'm the one, they would probably start their own cleaning business at that point. If they're like, I can clean, I can manage. So that's a great thing, because I think on her ad right now, she said she's looking for like 2 people. So that can cause a lot of people to be like, oh, well, maybe I'm not good enough, right? For that, I don't know if I'm gonna be a good fit for the 2. Let me just go to somewhere where like they're accepting as many applicants as possible, if that makes sense. So that's actually a great way to look at it. I think sending her this after this is going to be super valuable. And Michael, thanks. I really appreciate you kind of giving your insight on the hiring thing, because not just her, but people in the industry right now are struggling tremendously. And the people I feel like are succeeding are the owners that are quite creative and taking some
Mhm.
time to think. Because I talked to her earlier, and whoever's watching this recording, a lot of time as business owners, we like to go, especially in the cleaning industry, janitorial. You have clients to manage, employees to manage, fires to put out, paperwork to do. You're doing a bunch of different things. And if you're just doing, you don't take time to take a step back to be creative, to do maybe certain things within your team, or offering employees certain things to help it grow and move it forward. It can kind of cause you to be in that cycle of I'm just doing and it's just breaking and then just going in circles, right? So in her case, I was like, you just got to take some time off. You just go. And if you're just trying to go, how can you be creative on thinking about a way to get more employees to, come and show up to your interviews? Like that takes time to think. Like, if you sit around, like, you take the time to think, you can come up with really good ideas to be able to progress, your business moving forward. Because if you don't sit back, how do you realize paying them $2 extra can actually make you more profitable, because more business is going to come? You don't really know that until you sit down and actually do all of that, which a lot of business owners lack. So that's
Yep.
all. Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. I mean, I'd rather increase profit because I'm increasing revenue rather than just worry about not
Where can I
growing
take
my
it?
business,
Yeah.
being stagnant. Because if you're not selling and you're not increasing your client base and your revenue, eventually you're going to go backwards.
Yeah.
You're going to go backwards because wages are going to go up and you're going to have to increase your wages. Taxes are going to go up with that as well. Supply cost goes up, insurance cost goes up. Everything starts creeping around you because of inflation. And meanwhile, you got complacent because you sat on a certain revenue. You were comfortable with the profits that you had, and slowly those profits get eroded away, and you stay trapped in uh, that same mind space of, oh well, I don't know what happened to my business. I was doing fantastic one day, and a couple of years down the road when everything was running really smooth, and all of a sudden now my accountant's telling me, hey, you're not profitable anymore. You're barely skimming by. And now you're in a panic, you know? So I would never want to be in that place. I'd rather just focus on, 80% sales, 20% operations, but you got to put great systems and strategies in place for your operations in order for you to spend so little time on focusing on it.
Yeah. And I feel like as you scale as a business, many people, like you said, like they get attached to that profit. And it's like they start looking to like, hey, what can we take so we can profit more, rather than, hey, what can we add? Maybe paying somebody a little bit more so they can fulfill a little bit more, clean a little bit better, so we can bring on more clients, stuff like that, to move the business forward regarding revenue. Because 10% of 10 million is a mil. Like 10% of 100 is, 10. So the more revenue you add on, depending on your profit margin, that's how much more money you're going to be able to take home. So I mean, that's looking at the bigger picture there, right? So that's awesome. This group coaching turned into straight like masterclass on a hiring. Is there anything else you want to say about the hiring before I pause the recording? Because I do want to just keep it just hiring, because it was a great 35 minutes of just going over great valuable information for everybody.
Um, really just to reiterate what you said, if you're paying the absolute top end when you're advertising and you're getting the A players to come to you, now you get the chance to be as selective with that hiring process as you need to be and want to be. And those A players, they're just gonna elevate the speed and quality of the work that's being put into the field. And that is stress-free business management. And I know I bring that up just about every Zoom meeting. Like how can we create a stress-free environment
Yeah.
as owners of the business? And sometimes it's a long game strategy about things that you put into place so that you can get there. But if we don't think about it up front, it doesn't happen. We start taking shortcuts and we start trying to take, what we think is the easy way, to put some profits into the business and maybe not pay quite as well or hire the right person or, oh, I want to give this person a chance because, I feel kind of way about them. At the end of the day, it's about business. It's about being professional, finding and surrounding yourself with the absolute best people, and then really, really taking care of them.
Yeah,
So,
100%. I feel like once you have A players in the future, as you start building them up, your quality of work kind of speaks for itself. So you can charge a little bit more as well because of the quality that you've provided, and you can charge more to people that understand the value of what you're providing, right? So I don't know. If you think long term for anything, it ends up winning. But if you think everything short term, it's just cool. You make more money now, but like, what's the point of making an extra 50 grand for the next 2 years when you can make an extra 30 grand for the next 10, 15, 20 years, right? That compounds over time. So that's awesome. Michael, thank you again for going in depth of the hiring stuff. This recording is super powerful and people are going to, take a lot of information about it and hopefully they implement it.